Rain hits the porch light like bullets. My father slides a manila envelope through the cracked door. His wedding ring clicking against the frame. 30 days, he says, voice carrying over the storm to where Mrs. Patterson waters her plants next door. Behind him, my mother folds her arms and says, "It's better this way, Mija." My suitcase sits on the welcome mat like a stray dog. I reach for the doorknob. It doesn't turn. The locks are different. New brass where old silver used to be. My throat closes. After everything I paid. The words come out broken. He stares at the gutter spilling water onto the driveway. From inside, the television laughs at something. My name is Bianca Reyes. I'm 29 years old. And 30 minutes ago, my parents evicted me from my childhood bedroom. The rain soaks through my jacket while I stand there, holding an eviction notice with my own address on it. Through the window, I can see the couch where I learned to read. The kitchen table where I did my homework. My mother's hand reaches up and pulls the curtain closed. I press my palm against the door one last time. The wood is cold and unfamiliar. This was supposed to be temporary. 3 months while I found a new job. I was 2 weeks late on token rent. 2 weeks. And now I'm homeless in front of the house where I grew up. Where I took my first steps. Where I believed family meant something more than a lease agreement. Don't scream. Every muscle in my body wants to, but I don't. I press the envelope against my chest and feel it go soft in the rain. The ink on the notice starts to blur. Behind that curtain, the lamp I bought them for Christmas glows warm. I leave my spare key on the doormat like a tiny funeral offering and walk to my car with my portfolio tucked under my arm. My hands shake so hard I can barely get the key in the ignition. The wipers turn on, smearing my tears into gray crescents across the windshield. I say it out loud to nobody, to the empty car, to myself. Okay. That's how it's going to be. My voice sounds strange. Flat. Like something inside me just went quiet. I drive 3 blocks before I have to pull over because I can't see through the crying. A jogger runs past, earbuds in, completely unaware that someone's life is ending in this parked car. I wipe my face with my sleeve and open my phone. My reflection in the rearview mirror looks like a stranger. Mascara running. Is red. But underneath the crying, something else is happening. Something cold and clear is settling into place. I take a shaky breath and open my banking app. If they want to treat this like a business transaction, fine. Can do business. The banking app loads slowly. I scroll back through 4 months of transactions. There they are, 4 transfers to my mother's account, each one labeled household reimbursements. $340 for groceries when their fridge was empty. $280 for utilities when the disconnect notice came. $410 more for groceries. $195 for the electric bill. All the weeks I covered expenses. Just until the refinance clears. I open Edel, our text thread. Her promises are right there in blue bubbles. We'll pay you back Friday. The refinance closes next week. You know we're good for it, Mija. I screenshot everything. Every transfer. Every promise. Every excuse. I created a new folder on my phone and named it Boundaries. My hands are steadier now. Something about seeing it all laid out in numbers makes it real. Make it proof. I'm not crazy. I'm not dramatic. Have receipts. The rain pounds on the roof like it's trying to tell me something. I add up the total in my head. Over $1,000. Money I gave them while I was supposed to be saving for my own emergency. Money they promised to return. Money that's just gone now, like my room, like my home, like the parents I thought I knew. I save everything to the cloud. Back it up twice. Then I start the car again and drive. 2 weeks ago everything was different. I'd lost my marketing job after the merger. They eliminated my entire department on a Thursday afternoon. My manager cried while she handed me the severance paperwork. You were the best we had, she said, like that mattered to the corporate. I came home and told my parents over dinner. My father put down his fork. How much was in your emergency fund, he asked. Not, are you okay? Not, we'll help you through this. Just numbers. We agreed I could pay token rent for 3 months while I job hunted. $400 a month. Nothing compared to market rate. I was 2 weeks late. 1 paycheck cycle. My mother called it a pattern of irresponsibility. My father said, "We are not running a charity, Bianca. This is about principles." I offered to sell my camera equipment and make it right by Friday. He shrugged like I was a tenant he'd never met before. Not his daughter. Just someone behind on rent. That night I heard them talking in the kitchen. My mother's voice. "She needs to learn." My father's voice. "We're doing her a favor." Packed a bag then just in case. Turns out my instincts were right. They'd already called a locksmith. Already printed the eviction notice. Already decided. A month earlier, I'd overheard them on speakerphone with a realtor. I was carrying laundry past the kitchen when I heard my mother's voice. "If we refinance and do minor updates, we can run short-term rentals. The spare room is just wasted space right now." The spare room. My room. The one with my high school debate trophies still on the shelf. The realtor's voice crackled through the speaker. "You're looking at $150 to $200 per night in your neighborhood. It's smart money." My father laughed. "We'll make Bianca's little contributions in a weekend." I stood in the hallway with the laundry basket, my arms going numb. Little contributions. The groceries I'd bought. The bills I'd paid. Little. I finished folding my clothes in my room that night, listening to them plan how to profit from the space where I slept. They never knew I heard. Or maybe they didn't care. That's when I started keeping the spreadsheet. Started screenshotting every text. I started preparing for something I didn't want to believe was coming. My mother had always said I was too careful, too paranoid. Turns out I wasn't careful enough. I should have seen this coming months ago. But you don't expect your parents to evict you. You just don't. My phone buzzes. It's my Aunt Rosa. She sent a screenshot without comment. Just the image. My mother's Facebook post. "Tough love is still love. Sometimes adulthood means letting our birds fly, even when it breaks our hearts. Proud to be teaching real-world lessons." 37 likes. 2 heart emojis. Mrs. Patterson commented, "Proud of you, Lucia. Not enough parents set boundaries these days." My chest caves in. I read it 3 times. She made me homeless and called it a lesson. She put it on Facebook with a proud face and emoji prayers. I wrote 10 different replies. Delete them all. Finally, I type 1 sentence in my notes app. "I have never asked you for anything I didn't first give." He saved it. Don't send it. Maybe someday. The rain is stopping now. The sky is that ugly gray that comes after storms. I need to figure out where I'm going to sleep tonight. My bank account shows $847. My severance will last another month, maybe 2 if I'm careful. I have 3 job interviews lined up for next week. I have my portfolio, my laptop, my phone. I have more than nothing. But right now, sitting in this car with nowhere to go, it doesn't feel like much. I scroll through my contacts, trying to figure out who I can ask for help without feeling like I'm drowning. My best friend Vanessa lets me crash on her couch for a week. She brings me tea and doesn't ask questions when I cry in her bathroom. But her boyfriend Troy comes back early from his work trip. He's nice about it. Says I can stay a few more days. But I hear them arguing through the walls about boundaries and space. I leave before it gets worse. 3 nights in my car. I line the trunk with old sweaters and keep my portfolio in the passenger seat like a life vest. I brush my teeth in the coffee shop bathroom at 6 a.m., before the morning rush. The barista pretends not to notice. I draft cover letters in the parking lot, my laptop balanced on the steering wheel. The rejection emails come fast. "We've decided to move forward with other candidates. Your qualifications are impressive, but we need someone with more direct experience. The position has been filled." My savings account ticks down like a countdown timer. $847. $623. $401. I buy the cheapest food I can find. Ramen. Granola bars. Gas station coffee. At night, I park in different spots so no one notices I'm living in my car. The library parking lot. 24-hour grocery store. Once, behind my parents' house, watching their lights go off one by one. I don't know why I torture myself like that. Maybe I'm hoping they'll realize what they've done. Maybe I'm just remembering what home used to feel like. DM appears on LinkedIn. It's from Keisha, a former client from my old marketing job. Hey, my brother Marcus is a realtor with some listings that won't move. You always had an eye for spaces. Interested in staging work. He can pay. I stare at the message for 5 minutes. Staging. I've never done it professionally. But I've watched enough home shows. I know what makes a room feel like home instead of a house. I take the bus to a listing on the east side. Marcus meets me there with coffee and tired eyes. The house smells like dust and artificial lemon. It's empty except for the owner's old furniture. A sagging couch, mismatched chairs, curtains yellowed with age. It's been on the market for 3 months, Marcus says. I'm out of ideas. The owner is desperate. I walk through each room slowly. Move the furniture. Straighten frames. Take down the heavy curtains to let light in. Iron the pillowcases on the floor using a borrowed iron. We shoot new photos on my old camera. The difference is startling. The same rooms look twice as big. Welcoming instead of depressing. It looks like a home again. Marcus stares at the photos on his phone. How did you do that? Shrug. I just made it look like someone could be happy here. He nods slowly. Yeah. That's exactly what it needed. The listing gets an offer in 48 hours. Marcus calls me on a Wednesday afternoon, shouting over street noise. You just made me look like a genius. What do I owe you? We settled on $350. It's not much, but it's something. It's gas money, food money, hope for money. I walk past a bakery and let myself buy the cheapest pastry. It flakes into my lap like relief. That night, I sat in the public library until closing. I research business licenses and LLC formations. The process is simpler than I thought. $125 for the filing fee. A registered agent. Business name. I register Sunroom Staging LLC on a library computer. My fingers shaking over the keyboard. The name comes from nowhere and everywhere. Every apartment I looked at as a kid, I'd run to the sunniest room first. That's the sunroom, I'd tell my parents. They never cared which room I wanted. The confirmation email arrives. Have a business. It's tiny. It's fragile. But it's mine. No one can evict me from it. No one can change the locks. I screenshot the confirmation and add it to a new folder on my phone. Proof. Proof that I'm not drifting. Proof that I'm not irresponsible. Proof that their tough love didn't break me. I'm building something. Even if they never see it. My cousin Daniela's birthday party. I show up with a pasta salad and keep my head down. The backyard is full of family I haven't seen since the eviction. They know. Of course they know. Aunt Rosa hugs me too tight. Uncle Fernando avoids eye contact. My parents are here too, standing by the grill. I stay near the fence. Then I hear my father's voice carrying across the yard to Uncle Fernando. We're monetizing the spare room. Can't enable Bianca's drift forever. He tilts his beer toward our house next door. Adult children don't get to freeload on their parents' retirement. My hand moves before I think. Pull out my phone. Open the voice recorder. Step behind the garage where the music is quieter. I hate myself for it. But I hit a record anyway. His voice continues. We gave her 3 months. She couldn't get it together. What were we supposed to do? Uncle Fernando mumbles something I can't hear. My father laughs. Exactly. It's called accountability. We're teaching her to stand on her own 2 feet. Save the file. Label it Barbecue July. Feel sick. I'm not sure why I'm recording this. What I'll do with it. But something tells me I need to document everything. Need proof that this is really happening. That I'm not imagining the cruelty. I put my phone away and go back to the party. My mother sees me and looks away quickly. Like I'm embarrassed. Like my presence here is inappropriate. I eat my pasta salad alone by the fence and leave early. Marcus forwards me a city newsletter 2 days later. The subject line reads, New short-term rental regulations effective September 1st. I scan the bullet points. Mandatory permits, safety inspections, owner-occupied requirements, 30-day minimum stays in residential zones, violation fine starting at $500 per day. Half my clients don't know what's coming, Marcus writes. The city is cracking down hard. Thought you might find this interesting given where you grew up. I read the rules 3 times. My parents' plan isn't the slam dunk they think it is. They'll need permits, inspections, proof they live there while renting the room, occupancy limits, fire safety upgrades, carbon monoxide detectors, separate exits. The list goes on. I forward the newsletter to my personal email. Save it to my boundaries folder. I'm not sure why yet. Just instinct. The same instinct that told me to keep those bank receipts. That told me to record my father at the barbecue. I'm not planning revenge. I'm just paying attention now. Watching. Waiting. Learning. The way I should have been all along. That night I drove past their house again. There's a contractor's truck in the driveway. They're already starting renovations. Already spending money they don't have yet. Already counting Airbnb income that might never come. I wonder if they read the city newsletter. I wonder if they care. A bank envelope shows up in the community mailbox at my sublet 2 weeks later. My name is still on my parents' family mail list. Inside is a disclosure notice about a HELOC rate adjustment. I shouldn't read it. It's not addressed to me. But I do. They took out a home equity line of credit for $85,000. The variable rate is jumping from 4.2% to 7.8% in 60 days. I do the math on my phone calculator. Their monthly payment is about to increase by almost $300. They were counting on Airbnb income to cover it. Income that requires permits they don't have yet. Income that might not even be legal under the new city rules. I took a photo of the notice. Add it to my boundaries folder with everything else. The screenshots. The voice recording. The city newsletter. I tell myself I'm just keeping records. Being organized. Protecting myself. But really, I'm watching the trap they built for themselves begin to close. They took out a loan against their house to fund renovations for an Airbnb that might not be legal. They're counting on income that might never materialize. And they did all of it without consulting anyone, without researching the rules, without planning for what happens if it all falls apart. The same way they evicted me without thinking about consequences. Without considering that I might land on my feet. Without imagining I'd be watching from the outside, seeing everything they tried to hide. I pulled up the spreadsheet I started keeping last year. Every dollar I gave them has a date, an amount, and a screenshot of the text where they promised to pay me back. Groceries. $750 across 5 trips. Utilities. $475 across 3 months. Token rent I did pay before the eviction. $1,200. Total. $2,425. I added a new column. Interest forgiven. The number makes my stomach hurt. Not because it's large. Because it's proof of how long I believed them. How long I stayed. How long I let them take from me while planning to kick me out. I print the spreadsheet at the library. 3 copies. 1 for my records. 1 for my lawyer if I ever need one. 1 just in case. The printer jams halfway through and a librarian has to help me. She sees the column headers. See the words groceries, utilities, promised repayment, actual repayment, $0. She glances at my face. Don't ask questions. Good luck with whatever this is, she says quietly. I fold the papers into a folder. Not a weapon. Mirror. Something to show them someday what they did. What they took. What they broke. I'm not angry anymore. Not really. I'm just tired. Tired of pretending this is normal. That parents do this. That I somehow deserved it. I seal the folder and write proof on the tab. Then I put it in my car trunk with my other important papers. Birth certificate. Social security card. The eviction notice. Everything that proves I existed in that house once. Everything they can't take back. I draft an email to my parents at 2 a.m. when I can't sleep in my sublet. I'm okay. I'm working. I'll repay the token rent I owe with interest. I don't want this distance between us. Miss you. Miss home. Can we talk? My finger hovers over send. I imagine my mother reading it out loud to my father over breakfast. I imagine them nodding like landlords receiving a tenant's apology. Like I owe them something beyond what I already gave. Like my pain is less important than their principles. I moved the draft to a folder labeled unsent. I owe them clarity eventually. Maybe even forgiveness if I can find it somewhere deep enough. But I don't owe them permission to keep hurting me. I don't owe them gratitude for the childhood they gave me before they took adulthood away. I don't owe them an apology for being human. For losing my job. For being 2 weeks late on rent while I looked for work. Close my laptop. Tomorrow I have 3 staging consultations. Real work. Real money. Real proof that I'm not drifting, not irresponsible, not any of the things they said I was. I need sleep more than I need closure. I need to keep building this business, this life, this future that doesn't include them. At least not the way it used to. Maybe someday we'll find our way back to each other. But it has to be on terms that don't destroy me. Sunroom staging takes off faster than I expected. Marcus introduces me to 2 other agents who can't move mid-tier listings. I stage with thrifted linens and borrowed lamps, learning to stretch $200 into warmth and $150 into charm. I haunt estate sales and discount stores. I learn which colors photograph well. Which furniture arrangements make small rooms feel large. How to make a $40 throw pillow look expensive. Within 2 months, I'm booking out 3 weeks in advance. My hands stop shaking when I check my bank account. $1,240. $2,890. $4,150. It's not secure yet. But it's breathing room. It's proof. It's a future I'm building with my own hands. I moved from the sublet to a month-to-month studio apartment. The front door sticks, and the shower runs cold, but it's mine. I lock the door from the inside and feel something a knot in my chest. No one can change these locks but me. No one can slide an eviction notice under this door. No one can take this away. I bought a used couch from Facebook Marketplace. A lamp from Goodwill. Plants from the grocery store. I made it home. And every night when I lock that sticky door, I think about my parents' house. About my old room. About the Airbnb they're building. And I wonder if they ever think about me sleeping in my car. If they ever regret it. If they ever loved me more than they loved proving a point. My mother calls while I'm steaming curtains in a townhouse near the university. I almost didn't answer. Bianca, your Aunt Rosa says you're doing staging now? Like on TV. Her voice has that edge. The one that means she's about to give advice I didn't ask for. It's work, I say. Real work. I have an LLC and clients and a waiting list. She sighs. We only wanted you to grow up, Mija. Learn responsibility. You understand that, right? Behind her, I hear a tape measure snap and my father's voice. That queen mattress won't fit through this door. We'll need a full one. They're in my old room. Measuring for furniture. For guests. For people who'll pay $150 a night to sleep where I used to dream. Where I used to feel safe. I have to go, I say. My voice sounds hollow. I'm with a client. He pauses. Well, I'm glad you're finding your way. We always knew you would. That was the point. Like evicting me was a teaching moment. Like homelessness was a curriculum. I hang up before she can say anything else. My hands are shaking again. I finish steaming the curtains. Take my payment from the agent. Drive back to my studio apartment. That night I didn't sleep. I keep thinking about what she said. We always knew you would. Like they had faith in me. Like faith matters when you change the locks. Like belief is the same as love. I text them 2 weeks later. Can we meet? Neutral location. I have things to say. We agree on a cafe downtown. Noon on Saturday. Fluorescent lights and the smell of burned espresso. I arrived first with a folder. My father looks older than I remember. My mother's hair is shorter. They sit across from me like I'm at a job interview. Like I'm a tenant requesting something. I slide the folder across the table. Inside, screenshots of bank transfers, texts promising repayment, the HELIC notice, the city newsletter about rental regulations, the recording transcript from the barbecue. The last page is a list I typed up last night. What I will and won't do. Will communicate by email only. Accept genuine apologies without conditions. Won't lend money. Sleep on anyone's couch. Be your project or lesson to others. Pretend this didn't hurt. My father's face turns red. He opens the folder. Read the first page. Look at my mother. She stares at the list like it's in another language. This is what boundaries look like, I say. My voice is steady. Calmer than I feel. Take it or leave it. We sit in silence. My father's jaw works. My mother's eyes fill with tears. She doesn't let them fall. You're being dramatic, he says finally. I stand up. No, I'm being clear. You wanted me to grow up. Here I am. Grown up. With boundaries. Walk out. Leave them sitting there with the folder open between them. Evidence of everything they tried to forget. 2 weeks later, Aunt Rosa sent me a photo. A city inspector on my parents' porch. An orange notice taped to the door. Permit deficiencies. Cease operations until compliance. Violations. Unpermitted renovations. Missing fire safety equipment. Non-compliant electrical work. Daily fine, $500. My mother texts me for the first time in months. Do you know anything about city rental rules? They're saying we can't rent the room without permits we didn't know we needed. The fines are adding up. Can you help? I stare at the message for a full minute. Part of me wants to help. I want to send her the links I found months ago. The permit applications. The inspection checklist. The compliance requirements. But I remember the Facebook post. The tough love sermon. The rain on the porch while I held an eviction notice. My hands were shaking as I slept in my car. I type. It's all on the city website. Search short-term rental permits. Good luck with compliance. I don't add you'll need it. Don't have to. 3 days later, Aunt Rosa says they failed 2 inspections. The electrical work wasn't up to code. They need a separate entrance for the rental room. Fire safety upgrades. The fines are $500 per day until they fix everything. The Airbnb listing never went live. Their plan is collapsing under the weight of rules they never bothered to research. And I can't bring myself to feel sorry for them. They didn't research before evicting me either. Didn't plan for consequences. I didn't care. Marcus texts me in September. Need to tell you something in person. Important. We met at his office. He closes the door and lowers his voice. The widower next door to your parents is selling. Mr. Halpern. He's moving to Phoenix to be near his grandkids. He wants a quiet sale. No signs, no drama, no open houses. Just a quick close to someone who'll love the place and not flip it. Next door. To my parents. I stop breathing for 2 counts. The house I used to stare at from my bedroom window. Mr. Halpern's house, with the maple tree in the front yard and the wraparound porch. The house where Mrs. Halpern used to bring me cookies when I was little. Can I see it? Yes. My voice sounds strange. We go at dusk. The floors creak like memory. The layout is a mirror of my parents' house, but backwards. Everything familiar but reversed. The kitchen window faces their kitchen window. 20 feet of grass between us. I run my hand along the windowsill and imagine mornings here. Coffee in my own kitchen. Looking out at the maple tree. Not at them. Just near them. Close enough to prove I survived. Close enough to show them I didn't need their house to build a home. How much? Ask Marcus. He tells me. I do the math in my head. It's barely possible. If I use everything I've saved. If business stays steady. If nothing breaks. I tell Marcus I want to make an offer. He looks at me carefully. Are you sure about this? Living next door to them. I nod. I'm very sure. The math spreads across my notebook like a prayer. My savings from sunroom staging. $8,300. Revenue projected for the next 6 months if bookings hold. $19,000. A conventional loan under the LLC. Possible, Marcus says, with his help and my business history. The widower's asking price. $185,000, under market because he wants fast and easy. My monthly mortgage would be $1,240 with 10% down. Add insurance, taxes, utilities. $1,600 total. It's barely possible. If anything slips, if business slows, if a major repair hits, I drown. I think about sleeping in my car. Coffee shop bathroom. The rain on that porch. The eviction notice is soft with water. I circle yes on the notebook. Then I call Marcus. Draw up the offer. Fast close. $5,000 earnest money from my savings. Seller rent back for 2 weeks so Mr. Halpern can move at his own pace. My voice doesn't shake. And Marcus, don't tell anyone whose house this is next to. Not until we close. He's quiet for a moment. Then, you got it. But Bianca, this is bold. Are you ready for what happens when they find out? Think about that. About their faces when they see me moving in next door. About living 20 feet from the people who evicted me. Yes, I say. I'm ready. Because this isn't about revenge. It's about proving something to myself. That I can build a life they can't touch. A home they can't take. A future they can't control. Right next door. Where they have to see it every single day. We go under contract on a Tuesday in late September. I sign the purchase agreement in Marcus's conference room with a pen that blots on the signature line. My hand is steadier than I expected. The earnest money comes out of my savings account. $5,000. The biggest check I've ever written. I don't tell Vanessa. Don't tell Aunt Rosa. Don't tell anyone except the mortgage broker and the title company and the inspector. This has to stay quiet until closing. That night, I drove past my parents' house. The porch light is on. Through the front window, I can see a router blinking on the side table. A guest mattress propped in the hallway, still wrapped in plastic. They're still trying to make Airbnb work despite the city fines. Despite the violations. Despite everything. My mother walks past the window and pulls the curtain aside. Look out at the street. For a second, we make eye contact across the dark lawn. She doesn't recognize my car. She looks right through me. Like I'm a stranger. Like I was never her daughter at all. I drove to Mr. Halpern's house. My house soon. Park in the driveway. Sit there in the dark. The maple tree's shadow falls across the hood of my car. Can do this. I'm doing this. In 30 days, I'll own this house. I'll have a mortgage and a home and proof that their tough love didn't break me. Made me stronger. Made me careful. Made me someone who keeps receipts and builds businesses and survives. Closing day. October 15th. The air smells like fallen leaves and new beginnings. I met Mr. Halpern on the front lawn at 10 a.m. He hands me the keys, brass and worn smooth. I'm glad it's you, he says. His eyes are kind. You always smiled at my wife when you were little. Brought her drawings. She kept them all, you know. They're still in a box in the attic. You can have them if you want. He doesn't know what this moment means. What I'm doing. What these keys represent. Or maybe he does and he's kind enough not to say. I carry in the first box. Towels, a kettle, a single succulent plant Vanessa gave me for luck. The house smells like lemon oil and dust and potential. I walk through each room slowly. This one will be my office. Where I'll run sunroom staging. This one will be the bedroom. This small one by the kitchen with the morning light will be my sunroom. Where I'll drink coffee and watch the light change and remember what I survived to get here. I sit on the floor in the empty living room. And I cry. Not sad crying. Not happy crying. Something else. Relief crying. Survival crying. Proof crying. The kind of crying that happens when someone who was roofless finally finds the sky. When someone who was locked out finally holds the keys. I cry until the light goes gold through the windows. Then I stand up, wipe my face, have work to do, boxes to unpack, a house to make into a home, a life to build. Right next door to the people who thought I'd fail. The neighborhood summer potluck happens the last Saturday in October. Annual tradition. I bake cornbread in my new oven, my grandmother's recipe that my hands remember without thinking. I carry it to the community park on a paper plate covered with foil. People I've known my whole life are here. Mrs. Patterson, the Ruiz family, Mr. Chen from the corner house, kids I used to babysit, and my parents standing by the dessert table with store-bought cookies on a plastic tray. Mr. Halpern, who stayed an extra week to say goodbye to neighbors, taps his glass with a spoon. Before I head to Phoenix tomorrow, I want to introduce your new neighbor. She's actually an old neighbor. Bianca bought my place. I'm so happy it's going to someone who loves this street as much as Martha and I did. He gestures to me. I step forward. Wave. My heart is pounding. Hi everyone. I'm Bianca Reyes. I just bought Mr. Halpern's house. I'm so grateful to be back in the neighborhood where I grew up. The applause is genuine, warm. Then I see my mother's face. Her paper plate tilts. A strawberry slides off and lands in the grass. My father's jaw clenches so hard I can see the muscle jump. His face goes red then white. My mother's hand goes to her throat. I don't look away. Smile. Stand there on my own property, holding cornbread I baked in my own oven. Unbreakable. Unmovable. Mrs. Patterson hugs me. I'm so glad you're back, honey. She whispers. And I'm sorry about what happened. Your mother's Facebook post was cruel. I squeeze her hand. To thank you. 'Cause I am thankful. For all of it. Even the pain. Because it taught me who I am when everything is taken away. 2 days later they knocked on my door. Monday morning. 9 a.m. I watch them through the window first. My mother's face is blotchy. My father's hands are empty. No envelope this time. Open the door. Stand on my porch. My porch. They're on the sidewalk. Can we come in? My mother asks. Her voice is small. No, I say. Not mean. Just clear. I'm not ready for that. I hand them a manila folder. The same size as the one they gave me in the rain. Inside. A notarized statement forgiving the $2,425 they owe me. Copies of their city violation notices, still unresolved. And a letter I wrote last night at my kitchen table. No spare keys to my house. No surprise visits. Email for anything important. I wish you well, but I need distance to heal. What you did hurt me deeply. Maybe someday we can rebuild. But not today. Not yet. My mother's voice breaks. We didn't think you'd actually. We were trying to teach you responsibility. Help you grow up. Her words collapse into the space between us. I nod. I know what you thought you were doing. But what you actually did was show me I can't rely on you. So I learned to rely on myself instead. My father opens his mouth. His voice comes out rough. You bought this house to spite us. I shake my head. No. I bought this house because I fell in love with it when I was 7 years old. Because Mr. Halpern's wife used to give me cookies. Because the maple tree drops leaves that look like gold in October. 'Cause it has a sunroom. I didn't buy it to hurt you. I bought it to save myself. They stand there for a moment longer. My mother was crying quietly. My father was staring at the porch boards. Then they turn. Walk across the lawn to their house. I watch them close their door. Then I close mine. My lock clicks. My door. My choice. My home. Autumn settles in deep. The maple tree between our houses drops leaves on both roofs, gold and red and orange. Through the neighborhood grapevine, I hear my parents had to convert the spare room back to regular use. The city fines added up to $7,000 before they got into compliance. The HELOC payments swelled when the rate jumped. They're managing, Aunt Rosa says, but barely. They had to take out a personal loan to cover the fines. We don't speak. Sometimes I see them in the driveway. We nod. That's all. It's enough for now. Maybe someday it'll be more. Maybe not. The morning light spills into the back room of my house, the one I've been saving for last. I paint the walls the color of quiet peaches, soft and warm and mine. I set up a second-hand desk by the window, the one that faces the maple tree, not their house. The sunroom. The room that named my business. This is where I'll run sunroom staging. Where I'll plan projects and answer emails and build something that can't be taken away. I make tea in my own kitchen using my grandmother's old kettle that I found at an estate sale. Open my laptop. Check my business email. 12 new inquiries this week. The business is growing faster than I dreamed. I'm hiring an assistant next month. Vanessa, actually. She quit her corporate job to join me. You're building something real, she said. I want to be part of it. I type a response to a new client. Yes, I can help. When would you like to start? Outside, the leaves fall soft on 2 roofs, 2 driveways, 2 separate lives that used to be connected. My parents' house looks smaller from here. Less important. Just a house. Just a place I used to live. Close my laptop. Stand at the window with my tea. The sunlight makes everything gold. I think about that night in the rain. The eviction notice. Changed locks. The feeling of being erased from the only home I'd ever known. Think about my car. Coffee shop bathroom. The rejection emails. The fear. And then I think about everything that came after. The staging jobs. The LLC. The spreadsheets and screenshots and boundary lists. The moment I signed the papers for this house. The look on their faces at the potluck. I think about how their attempt to teach me a lesson taught me something they never intended. That I'm stronger than they thought. That I can build a life from nothing. That their love was conditional, but my worth isn't. The doorbell rings. It's Marcus with a bouquet of flowers. Housewarming gift, he says. And I have 3 new clients for you. Referred to by the agent whose townhouse you staged last month. Take the flowers. Mail. Thank you. For everything. For believing in me when I was sleeping in my car. He shakes his head. You did this, Bianca. I just opened a door. You walked through it. After he leaves, I put the flowers in a vase on the kitchen table. The petals are the same color as my sunroom walls. Soft peaches. The color of new beginnings. I lock my front door. Walk through each room of my house. Touch the walls. The windows. The door frames. Everything is solid and real and mine. No one can evict me from this. No one can change these locks. No one can take this away. I built it myself. From pain and receipts and determination. From staging houses for other people until I could afford one of my own. From refusing to let their cruelty define my future. In the sunroom I open the window. The October air smells like wood smoke and possibility. Next door, I hear my parents' voices through their open kitchen window. My mother is on the phone. I don't know Rosa. She's right there. Every day. Living her life. I see her in the mornings with her coffee. She looks happy. I don't know if she'll ever forgive us. I don't know if we deserve it. I close my window quietly. Sit at my desk. I'm not ready to forgive them yet. Maybe someday. Maybe never. But I'm ready to stop letting their choices control my peace. I open a new document on my laptop. Start typing. Not an email. Not a business plan. List. Things I know now. I know that family should be a refuge, not a lesson in survival. I know that love without respect is just control in disguise. I know that I am capable of more than I ever imagined. I know that receipts matter, boundaries matter, preparation matters. I know that the opposite of revenge isn't forgiveness. It's building a life so full that the people who hurt you become irrelevant to your joy. I know that home isn't where you grew up. It's where you grow into yourself. I save the document. Title it Proof of Life. Then I make another cup of tea. Turn on music. Sit in my sunroom with the afternoon light pouring gold through the windows. This is my house. My business. My life. I built it from nothing. From an eviction notice in the rain and a car trunk lined with sweaters. From staging other people's homes until I could afford my own. From saying no when I used to always say yes. From keeping receipts when I used to just trust. The maple tree outside drops another handful of leaves. They drift past my window like confetti. Like celebration. Like proof that beautiful things can come from letting go. I'm home. Not in the house where I grew up. Not in my parents' spare room turned into an Airbnb dream. Not in the version of family I thought I had. I am home by myself. In the life I built with my own hands. In the business I named after light. In the boundaries I set and the locks I control and the future I own. Next door doesn't matter anymore. The eviction notice is just paper now. The pain is just proof of what I survived. I finish my tea. Stand up. Walk to the front door of my house. Open it wide. Step onto my porch. The neighborhood is quiet. Few kids riding bikes. Mrs. Patterson waving from her garden. The sun is setting behind the maple tree, turning everything orange and gold. I wave back. Breathe in the October air. Mail. This is my street. My neighborhood. My home. They thought they were teaching me to stand on my own 2 feet. They were right. I just learned it differently than they planned. I learned that standing on your own 2 feet sometimes means walking away from the people who keep trying to knock you down. I learned that the best revenge isn't hurting them back. It's building a life so beautiful they can see it every day from their kitchen window. I learned that tough love isn't love at all. Just tough. And I learned that I don't need their approval anymore. Don't need their pride or their permission or their version of what my life should look like. I have my own version now. And it's better than anything they imagined for me. Go back inside. Lock my door. My lock. My key. My choice. The house settles around me with the sounds of home. The heater clicking on, the refrigerator humming, the old floors creaking under my feet. Outside, the maple tree stands between 2 houses, dropping leaves on both roofs. Connecting nothing. Just being a tree. Beautiful and indifferent and exactly where it's supposed to be. Like me. I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. In the home I built. In the life I earned. In the peace I fought for. They're next door. I'm here. And that's exactly how it should be. I turn off the lights one by one. Leave only the sunroom lamp glowing warm against the windows. So anyone passing by can see, someone lives here. Someone who fought to be here. Someone who turned pain into property and eviction into evolution and homelessness into home. Someone who kept her receipts and built her boundaries and bought the house next door. Someone who survived. Someone who's still here. Someone who won. Me.